Hey there, this is the Orlando Squadcast. It is your one-stop shop for all the latest news, history, and updates from the City Beautiful.
Hey, checkers.
Ooh. Yeah. The city is so huge, so there's a lot going on.
So tips, secrets, happenings, anything that's new that's happening, you're going to be hearing it here first.
Welcome to the Orlando Squadcast, your one-stop shop for all the latest news, history, and updates from the City Beautiful. Join us as we explore the vibrant culture, people, and places that make Orlando so special. Get ready to be in the know and stay in the know with the Orlando Squadcast. What's
well
up?
Said.
Yeah. What's up? I'm your host, Mark Rawmaker, but I am not alone. No. This is a multi-host situation. Next to me is the wonderful Rob Stack. What's up, Rob?
Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Stack. Yes, thanks, Mark. Thanks for that intro.
Welcome.
But we felt that two wasn't enough. We needed a third, and so we invited our good friend, Jonathan Spiegel. Jonathan Spiegel, welcome.
Three's Company 2. Hey, guys. How you doing? Thanks for the introduction, Rob.
Yeah.
And for everybody that's tuning in for the first time, thank you so much for listening to the Squadcast. And if you are listening for a second or third time, thank you so much. You're our favorite listener, and I love you personally. Yeah. What do we have going on today, dude?
Well,
What'd you do this weekend?
What'd you do this weekend?
Well,
Did you do anything fun, exciting?
I did do something fun. I took my two oldest boys to Universal Studios Orlando.
Oh, did they like it?
They loved it. So I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. You guys know that. And it's so funny. They're so
Are
into.
they tall enough to ride the
They are.
rides
They're
yet?
40. They're 42 inches.
Okay.
One's 42. One's 44. So they can ride a gamut. But it's funny. They're super into Harry Potter, but they don't know anything about Harry Potter. I feel like that's kind of Star Wars too. Like,
it's such an investment in the movies.
So we went there, and the last time we went, my son wanted a wand, so I was like, pick one out. This is your souvenir, and he picked out Voldemort's. What? No idea who
He's
he
like,
was.
this one's cool.
Yeah, which it is. It's like made of bone.
Can
It's
I have the
super-
bone wand,
Yeah, it's
Dad?
super cool. So then we went again, and my second son, Rhett, wanted one too, and it was only fair. Well, he picked out Harry Potter. He's the main character, so I have to do this one. So we picked that out. It was pretty awesome. But now, yesterday, we went to the parks, and then yesterday finally watched the first movie.
Oh, cool.
I think, I don't know. They
Did they
said
dig
they're
it?
bored, but like they're doing spells and doing all this stuff.
Did they dig the movie? Like, did they sit through it?
Yeah, they sat through it.
The
Yeah,
first
they sat
one
through
is
it.
great for kids because
It is.
they're kids themselves.
Yeah.
So like it's a really good hook for
But
them.
I do know, I will say Universal is very healthy with people in it. It was extremely crowded. We
Well, it's
actually
spring break,
got the
right?
Express Pass. I was like, I want to get my time back.
Yeah.
And
Right.
the Express Pass lines were like 20 minutes.
No
Really?
way.
No joke. No, 20 or 30 minutes.
Wow.
We got into Minions. They were like, I was like, Express Pass. And they're like, just so you know, it's an hour wait.
Holy
I
cow.
was like, for Express?
So that many people
It was
bought Express
booming.
passes.
Yes. Well, if you stay at the hotel, you get.
Oh, that's right.
I think that was a lot.
Oh,
of it.
yeah, that's part of the perk,
I
too.
forget about that.
Yeah. So that's what it was. Pretty fun. It was.
What was their favorite ride?
I don't know, man. I really love like old school Spider-Man. Like
It
it's
is
just
a great
I feel
ride.
like that was the
that's
first
fun
one
one.
that was like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. They throw that pumpkin at you. It's like and then it blows up. I
And it
love that.
still gets
you
me.
never see that villain. I don't even know his name, but you know what I mean.
Hobgoblin?
Or
Is
the
it
Green
that?
Goblin.
Green Goblin.
No, there's this villain that has like a Halloween villain. He throws a pumpkin. You need to go ride
The
it.
flaming pumpkin.
Yeah, it's a flaming pumpkin. It's not the Green Goblin. It's some pumpkin guy.
Oh.
Those
It's
listeners,
it's a pumpkin
comment below
villain?
if you know what I'm talking about. 'cause
Yeah,
I
if
have
you know
no
the
idea.
Spider-Man villain, the pumpkin
Yeah, he
lord
throws
or
it and
something.
it blows up. It's awesome.
All right.
That's what I did. So, but now I think it's for our podcast. I think it's time for the O-Town Throwdown.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
We
O-Town.
got
pull
a
up
great
my-
guest. I'm excited about this show.
We do have a guest. Before we get to the O-Town Throwdown, we have Cameron Matthews is
he's-
joining us today.
Mhm.
Former Disney cast member, was in the Citizens of Hollywood
Yeah.
show,
Mhm.
and he's now created his own business of virtual and in-person live events. And he has
Yeah.
his own business. It's-
And he knows the best place to get the best meatball sub in all of Orlando.
he said in the world.
He did
He
say
said-
in the world.
It's the world. So stay tuned for that because we're gonna
That's intense.
we're gonna
That is
reveal
intense.
that secret.
I can't
It's gonna be
wait.
great. All right, O-Town Throwdown.
O-Town Throwdown.
So I'm going to start with local yokels. That's my section. So what's maybe happening, something you can go do. So I want to feature the Orlando Vegan Market.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not vegan, but I think it's going to be great
Oh,
situation because I
nice.
want to go and maybe try some stuff because I'm always a little, are you guys vegan? You guys aren't vegan,
I'm
right?
not vegan.
No,
No,
I've dated
no.
a few vegan girls, though.
Yeah. And so I'm always like, what do you guys eat? I feel like I can eat. So I'm gonna
It's a
I'm gonna
whole
go to this.
underground
Yeah, it's a
culture.
whole thing. It's
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
in Lake Eola Park.
It's
a whole
literally
thing.
underground. 'cause
It's
most of
it's
it's
April 8th and
plant-based.
22nd.
There's a password.
Yeah.
Yeah, use the password. April 8th and 22nd. It's from 12 to 5, and they have like like 20 vendors. They have DJ, live music. It's like all these local businesses are going to be there, vegan only. So if you're just curious about it, or if you're a vegan, obviously you're going to go there and have a great time. But I think I'm going to go and just try some stuff.
Get some tastes.
Why
some new
not?
tastes.
Have you ever thought about going vegan or meatless or any of that?
Every once in a while,
Every
you just
once
feel
in
like
a
a little
while.
unhealthy. You're like, I feel like I should clean all this up.
Man, I'm really killing a lot of animals as I live.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole thing is, as well as, you know, if you go vegan, I dated this girl once and all she did was eat Oreos and peanut butter.
Oh, you're like,
true. That's an
I feel like
unhealthy
that's vegan. You know what I mean?
I mean,
So
that is vegan.
I'll
but-
go
weird,
vegan
though.
right now if that's my.
Yeah, that sounds like great.
I did vegan in college, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, a
I
few
was
nights.
vegan my entire sophomore year.
But
Is
it's
Mountain
cool is
Dew
that you
vegan?
can get tickets on Eventbrite, and it's free. You guys, it's completely free, no
That is
cost.
cool.
So it's free. But
That's
you
awesome.
guys should definitely. We should go to that. So yeah. So let's switch over to Johnny. You're our official park narc.
Park narc. All right, cool.
Wait, so what is a park narc again?
Park narc? I'm going to be giving you all the news and rumors and any of the kind of inside information about stuff that's happening in the theme parks,
Inside tips.
inside and around the theme park world.
What do you got for us this week?
So I got something for you. So you know that Universal Studios, they're going to be building a new park, Epic Universe, and things like that.
Love it. Can't wait.
So this is a little bit different because Universal Orlando, they also are going to be doing a new park in North Texas, right? So what does this have to do with Orlando?
Yeah.
Because North Texas is also the place of the Peppa the Pig theme park, which has also now been opened down at Legoland down here in Orlando.
I've been.
So that's done by Merlin Entertainments, right? So Merlin Entertainments, they see this as another little hot spot. So Legoland just got another little expansion. Peppa the Pig is there.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
for sure. And it's specifically geared for preschool kids up to 3 years old. And so that whole entire thing, if you have like any young kids and that kind of stuff, it's for that age.
We went to it.
You did the Peppa Pig thing?
Yeah, it's awesome.
How was it?
It's so fun. It's like it's so cute.
Yeah.
It's like a cute theme park. They have a show. They have a little live show there.
Yep.
All the rides are like.
You went to the one in Legoland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you go there and it was like you can do Peppa Pig Land for like $20, and I was like, that looks great.
Yeah,
So
it's like a part of the
pumped.
package deal thing. You know,
I'm not
it's
a
like
huge
section.
Peppa Pig fan. Every time my kids watch it, I'm just kind of confused, but they
She's
love it.
British though, right?
She's British, but like I just don't know what the show's about.
I gotcha.
And the episode's like an hour.
Yeah.
They're an hour long?
Yeah, they're so
Yeah,
long.
they're
for
really
three
long.
for 3 and 5
Yeah,
year olds?
it's so long. But they watch it. And they loved it. There's a little water park in there too.
Yeah.
If you have 3 and under,
I guess
The little
that
roller
is
coasters.
this generation's like I remember when Jake was growing up, it was Baby Einstein. That was
oh
huge.
yeah, it is kind of similar.
Yeah,
to
Baby
that.
So it's
Einstein's.
similar.
Mhm.
But
That's awesome, man.
three
Yeah,
times
for
as
sure.
long.
So just a little tidbit there about Legoland and stuff. It's good for all ages, but you have younger kids specifically.
Yep.
Peppa the Pig.
They loved it. Yeah, we
Yeah.
have a 2-year-old. She dug it, man.
They ate it up.
Cool.
Ate it right up. That's cool.
Yeah.
So now we have
We got Rob
Oh,
that's going to be telling
yeah.
us about some
We're
stuff.
going to talk about progress or not.
progress or not.
Progress.
So
All
this
right.
is a segment where we basically talk about Orlando developments, latest developments, any additions to the city, improvement projects, anything big that's coming up in the city.
Okay.
And
and then we debate it.
and then you debate it.
Yep.
You tell me whether or not you guys think this
I
is
usually
progress,
win.
what they could do better. But I've got a good one, guys. Okay. I'm gonna read this.
Okay.
On January 30th, 2023, Governor DeSantis announced moving Florida forward, a bold and historic infrastructure initiative. This proposed investment prioritizes $7 billion towards the state's transportation infrastructure to directly and immediately address congestion relief and perpetual safety on roads. And work on this could probably start as soon as next year, they said. They're basically saying they did a study and like on certain parts of I-4, the traffic is going like 10 miles an hour. It's going so slow.
always.
So they've allocated several millions of dollars to fix certain areas of I-4. Specifically, I-4 from Champions Gate to Osceola Parkway, they've allocated $451 million to expand that so that the traffic can move quicker through there. Because if you've ever gone down that way, I don't know if you've gone down that way, but as
we've all
soon as
gone
you
down that way.
hit... As soon as you hit Osceola Parkway, it comes to a dead stop.
Yep.
And then when you get over the hill, you're like, there wasn't an accident.
There was no
wasn't-
accident.
there's
It's
nothing.
just
No,
congestion.
people are just-
There's just
people
too
are
many
going-
points converging.
Yeah.
There's too many roads
Oh,
converging
that's
at one
huge
point.
news.
Yes. So, and they're also going to do another one. Poinciana Parkway Extension Connector from 532 to 429.
Yeah.
So that road is getting
Because if you
its
live in
own-
Poinciana, it's like a 2-lane road.
You have to go back through. You got to cut through
192.
Davenport, and you got to
Yep.
cut through all this crap just to get to those highways. So now they're making a connection to that
Ooh.
road. So that's big too. I-4, US 27 to Champions Gate. They're going to be redoing that whole entrance
Really?
exit because that gets backed up massively as well.
Oh, that's
And then-
exciting.
Yeah.
And
This
then,
is easily progress.
Oh,
This
yeah.
isn't even a debate.
I-4 at SR33 interchange. That's
The only thing
closer to
the only
Lakeland
thing that's
side.
going to be annoying is the years of construction because
They've already started. I think they've already started some of it.
They're going to go down to one lane sometimes, and we're just
Yeah.
going to be so mad. But I get it. It's for you have to go through the hard times. to get
Well,
through
they
good
need the
times.
tax dollars. They need those tax dollars. So people move into those areas, obviously, and they live there, and they bring the tax dollars, and then they realize, oh, we've got a massive, issue with infrastructure,
Yeah,
and so that's what's
that's
going
going
to
to be
be
great.
They
I know a
should
lot
have
of
enough
people.
money with all those damn tolls we have to pay down
Oh,
here.
I only take.
Well, the
toll
toll
road.
rolls are privatized. I-4 is all public, so
That's
this has
true.
to come from public funding.
Yeah, Rob's smart.
But 429 is all private. All those toll roads are private.
Yeah,
Well,
no, I think that's
you couldn't
massive.
pay me to drive on I-4, so I think it still balances out for me.
You know what? If
I'll
they
pay
fix
private
it,
roads to
it-
not drive I-4.
so that's what I do now. I have a budget every month that I pay to. I take
Can you
429 to get
imagine
down
one
here.
day that we all just take I-4 and we like it. Oh, I hope
Well, they did the I-4 expansion here and
downtown.
the downtown one, and it was
Mhm.
great. It really helped out. But they made the roads toll roads.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I use it too.
I
all
pay
the
to
time.
play.
I pay to play
All
as
day.
well.
Yeah.
And that's so. Is that progress?
1,000%.
We can agree
need
that
that
that's
Champions
progress.
Gates.
It's
a mess.
progress.
We need to fix that.
Anything that
Thank
helps
God.
out traffic is
I
progress.
agree.
All right, that's the O-Town Throwdown.
That's
I
the
feel
O-Town
good about
Throwdown.
that. You
Yeah.
guys ready for our guest?
I'm ready for our guest.
All
I'm
right.
pumped.
I'm juiced.
I
Me
want
too.
to. I want to find out where this meatball sub is.
Me too.
I love a good meatball
All right,
sub.
let's-
my teeth in this meatball show.
Yeah.
Let's get to it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show a multi-talented entertainer and MC with over 25 years of experience in the industry. Hailing from sunny Southern California, our guest today has graced stages, screens, theme parks, and even Comic-Cons with his infectious energy and charisma. In 2020, he actually launched his own business, Cameron Matthews Entertainment, and quickly became a sought-after producer of original virtual experiences. His creativity and adaptability have allowed him to thrive in the ever-changing landscape of the entertainment industry, and he has since gone to host major live events and for corporations and conventions all over the country. Ladies and gentlemen, Cameron Matthews.
Gents, wow.
How about that?
That sounds like I've done something.
Yeah, you
Like,
have.
Wow.
You have. Well, you're just walking on the
Qualified.
street.
Oh my
Oh, man.
gosh.
Welcome, man. Thanks for coming on here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, we're super pumped. So this is Orlando based.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna dive into your current business and what you're doing now because it's actually extremely fascinating what you've built and created in the
Thank you.
pandemic. But we'll start from the very beginning. What
When were you
brought you
born?
to or the amazing
I was
Orlando?
a very shy child.
What's your sign?
Yeah, with my Aquarius.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
We're like those water air boys.
We,
Get outta
we
here.
are. We are.
Yeah. What brought you to Orlando?
So I worked for Disney for many years. It was my very first job in Southern California. Worked at
Yeah.
Disneyland
Oh,
since
cool.
I was 16.
Wow.
What?
Youngin.
Yeah.
Is that legal?
Young.
It was. You had to get an entertainment work permit back then. I
Oh,
commuted from high
wow.
school.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
so you
it
just
is
go to
pretty
high
cool.
school and then go to work at
I
the
did.
parks?
Yeah.
Was it like a work program kind of thing where like you got educational
no.
credits or you got
They
to
could
leave
hire
for it?
you.
Yeah,
were
they
allowed-
could back. Yeah, I don't know how it is now. I
Yeah.
don't know if they really hire minors so much more in entertainment anymore.
Yeah.
But back then, you just had to get a work permit.
What'd you do?
I was in the Hercules parade. That's what I started out as, a hero wannabe, a scrawny, out of shape guy
What?
trying to be like Hercules. And
Miscast.
not much
And
has
now
changed.
you.
Miscast.
Now look at you now.
Look at
Those
me
reviewing.
now.
You're like a real life freaking
280.
Hercules sitting right here.
But yeah, so I worked there up until 2008. Met my wife there, who's also worked at Disney, and then we moved out here in 2008 with a show called Block Party Bash, which
Yeah.
came
I
from
remember.
California Adventure to Hollywood Studios, and the
Yeah.
rest is history.
So what was the biggest difference coming from California to Orlando?
Well, funny, it's from Orange County to Orange County,
Oh, yeah, look at that.
right?
Right.
So
And
no
I know
change
we're
at all.
not talking real estate here, but I have to say I could never afford a home in Southern
Old
California.
Orange, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So it was cost of living. I also wanted to get my equity card as an actor, so that was a big perk at the time to get that. Another big difference when we first came here and we moved to just outside of Disney property. You know, there was still a lot of orange groves all over the
Right.
place,
Yeah,
and
there's nothing.
it was not
2008?
as built. 2008.
Yeah, nothing was
before
here.
the
Nothing
crash.
was here,
Yeah.
but right before the crash.
Yeah.
So like we got out of California, I feel at the right time.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
And
So talk
transferred,
about your
yeah.
Disney journey. Like, so because you did so many shows there, right? So
Yeah.
you did Block Party Bash, and then you just kind of took over.
Yeah. So on the Disneyland side, I was a character and a parade performer and Fantasmic and things like that. And then here with Equity, a lot of time was at Hollywood studios. So it was Block Party Bash, the American Idol Experience, if you remember the American Idol Experience. That's
you kind of look like Ryan Seacrest.
That's where I got my feet wet, funny enough, and we'll maybe go into this a little bit of what I'm doing today. From
you were
field,
hosting, right?
No, I wasn't the host of the
You're a
show.
judge.
I was a field producer.
Really?
So behind the camera and getting the... one contestant per show had a video package like on American Idol where they go, hi, I'm Cameron and I'm from Anaheim and I'm so excited to be here. Vote for me. You know, and I was producing those behind the camera.
Oh, that's cool.
And that was an actor role. From there, I was a warm-up host with American Idol, which also led, funny enough, to what I'm doing today.
Wow.
From there, dabbling in a lot of special event work and the Hoop-de-Doo review with
That's
some
where
of
I
you
met you.
gentlemen. And then my final thing was the Citizens of Hollywood at Hollywood Studios, which was my
so
final
cool.
thing.
You were so, what was your character in that?
Those
Those who don't know, every street that was called Street Mo, right? You got the short was a
Citizens of Hollywood was the official name, but Streetmosphere.
Yeah, and then
Street Atmosphere.
right, and all the cast members called Street Mo.
Street Mo.
Street Mo.
That was the logo.
But each one of you in the Citizens of Hollywood, you had your own characters. Like you didn't come in and play each. Like you would come in.
Correct.
If you weren't there that day, then that character wasn't there, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, we all were punny names.
Yeah.
Because that's all we did all day was tell puns. I was a fake movie star. I say a failing recovering alcoholic. Stone Granite.
I love
Stone Granite. And,
Wait, say that
and
again.
I actually was
Failing?
the fourth actor to play Stone Granite.
You were.
Yeah, I was not the original Stone Granite. There were many other great gentlemen that played him before me.
How do you have that conversation where you're like, you know what, I'm gonna pass over this granite crown to you. you can take over this mantle.
Well, just the way it worked out. Folks leave, and then things changed, and I just ended up assuming this role.
Okay.
Which was actually a daunting test from an actor's perspective. My direction was just to, recreate what had already been done, and that was very tough.
Yeah,
very tough because the fellow actors who had done it before are completely different folks, and folks I do respect.
Right.
And that was daunting.
So it was your take on the role.
I eventually made it my take on
see.
it.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
but-
I really played into like a failing recovering alcoholic.
It's so funny.
Like I would walk around the Brown Derby, which was one of my favorite things to do, and I would just take over the restaurant.
Yeah,
as
you
a
guys
set.
kind of. I mean, you had sets, but then there was
We
times
had
where you
shows.
could just roam, right? And
We would
just-
roam around, yeah. But
What
one
a
of my favorite
fun
things was to be
job.
at the Brown Derby, and I would just be a solo set, and I'd walk in, and I'd go right to the bar because Stone Granite, and I'd get a snifter of, well, I called it the woman I was dating, Brandy. And I
"Let
would
me
just
just
take
smell
over
it."
the restaurant, sit down, and
Just talk
be
to
ridiculous.
strangers.
Oh, and
That has
I'd make
to
people
be
clap for me.
That has to be the most fun job.
Full of ego.
ever.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Now, did you do improv before you? I mean, you obviously did, but at that level, that's a different beast.
Yeah, that's
That's a different level. And going to my origins, I was always terrified of improv. Terrified of it. So much so that as a motivational speaker now, it's part of my whole
career
journey and what I
Yeah.
talk about. That I was a perfectionist, type A. I wanted to rehearse everything over and over and get
Scripted.
it scripted, get it perfect, and know that it worked, and do the same show every day.
Yeah.
But as actors, we know that that's not real.
not a real thing.
And that was a learning thing for me.
Sure.
But with Citizens of Hollywood, it definitely was a learning curve. I felt like I was failing all the time on
Because
it.
you don't that kind of thing. It's not like you finish the show and they clap. It's more like, all right, I'm leaving, and they're like, oh, that was great.
Right, or
some
we
of
would
the
do-
sets
yeah,
were,
we would
but,
do-
but like you would go and do your thing, and then you would disappear. That was the show. It was the atmosphere, right?
Correct.
So that's a whole different.
Is there a metric that you would use to like gauge what, like, oh, I landed 50% of the jokes today, or like, did you guys do that? Be like, I was a solid 70%.
Sometimes I go home and either I go, am I going to hug myself and rock in a corner, or am I just, take a Xanax? No.
or both.
Or both.
Yeah, maybe
or both. Let's talk mental health. No, I really leaned heavily on my cohorts who were just pros at it all. And it ended up being, and what I tell folks, it's not about the joke in Street Mo. It's in improv. It's not the joke. If you are going for the laugh, you're doing it wrong. You're working too hard. It's not about that. It's about the presentation of what you are portraying, so I could tell a very ridiculous dad joke, and it could just bomb. But if I really sold it as my character, that's the success.
right?
Yeah.
Was more about that.
Being believable is like how crazy you guys were, but like
Correct.
that person I think might be real.
Is he real?
That's the comedy.
Right, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so then 2020, this seems to be our, how do we not talk about this on all our podcasts? The pandemic hit. And as an actor, obviously you were furloughed, laid off, all that jazz, right? So what was that like for you? What happened and what was your mindset? And because you were an actor for how many years?
I worked for Disney, 23, 24 years.
Oh my God.
It was my first job. And I was at that point, even as an actor, I felt that I would retire there. Sure. I was just riding that wave. And I took the pandemic very hard. I took the layoff very hard.
It was epic. A lot of people don't realize it, but they fired the entire entertainment department at Walt Disney World. Fired, not just furloughed,
and
fired.
32,000 just cast members,
gone. Poof, gone.
Right. And I don't want to get all negative and go down a tangent, but it was devastating to me. It was like a loss of a family member
Instant
for myself.
Perspective, it was just a gut punch.
Yeah. And I grieved it like the loss of, well, yeah. It was a scary time, as we all know, because we didn't know
the life that you knew.
Right. And as singers and actors, and we're hearing what COVID can do, long COVID, and I was terrified of long COVID. I'm like, is this going to just ruin the career? Let alone, not just Disney, but my career. And, panicking about that. Then the layoff happens, and you have the disbelief, what are the stages of grief? Denial. Well, I wasn't denying it. But I lived in the anger, guys, for 8-9 months. So I wasn't talking to my wife. I wasn't talking to anybody. I just stewed. I was, and I felt really alone in that moment.
Yeah, because also at that point, who are you mad at?
Right, and we're in lockdown, so we can't really go anywhere.
No, and you're
and I just, so many folks, all we had was social media. Yeah. And you're reading folks who, we're taking it from a different perspective, and we're like, I can't wait to go back. I couldn't wait to go back, and I felt so alone in my feelings of going, they let us go for reasons that I didn't agree with. And I couldn't believe so many people just wanted to go back after they did that. Right. And they're like, I want to go back. I can't wait. And I felt alone in my feelings with that. It was even between my wife and I. Sure. Not that we were butting heads all the time. Just a debate, a healthy debate. She wasn't even in the same place that I was. She was, I want to go back. And I'm like, I don't understand that.
Right. You felt slighted by it.
Well,
absolutely.
Betrayed, absolutely.
Betrayal, all of the above.
Yeah, you instantly knew where they thought you lied in the food chain. You knew instantly, when they made that move, it's okay, you are expendable. So, and that has repercussions. It has emotional repercussions. Yeah. You're basically saying my life is worthless.
Right. So that anger and that kind of that angst that was building up over that 8 to 9 month period, is that what drove you to that next level? Were you able to... How did you turn that page personally?
Sure. Thanks to my wife and some very close friends, we would tend to have backyard get-togethers, back in those days, socially distant. We were in our pool, and my friend Alex was over, and she just said, "You're not okay, are you?" And I was like, "Nope, nope." And it was at that point that had been 9 months, and
those who don't know Cameron well, you're very, very positive. You walk in the room and everybody just smiles. So when you're not that, because I saw it too from a distance because we're friends, and I was like, something is not, and nobody knew what to do. Yeah. So anyway,
and I finally I literally got out of the pool and I made it a therapy appointment.
Yep, got it.
And
I feel like
now we're on a better path now.
Yeah,
and So, now on a positive end about it all. It was a horrible thing that happened, but I do find it now one of the greatest gifts of my life was the effect the pandemic had on my life.
Right.
So as devastating as I thought it was, now it's fantastic because it pushed me to come up with some new stuff. Yeah. During the early days of the pandemic, I was creating improv shows on Instagram just because we thought we would come back. Oh, yeah, so we were just... I was creating this thing called The Daily Pun 99, where we told our 99 Hollywood jokes all the time. And we just did it daily for 100 shows. And then I was theming them and making things out of masking tape. And
just being creative.
Right?
Not relying on somebody else to say, hey, be creative. You're like, oh, I can just be creative.
Right.
So you refound your worth. You refound your creativity, your drive, your passion. Your love.
And I didn't even know... It's so funny to look back at it that I didn't even know what it was leading me to. Mm-hmm. Even going back to American Idol, I was doing field producing and I was doing warm up. Okay. And then I was doing this improv Instagram thing during the early days of the pandemic. And then I lose my job. And then a big turnaround was one of my first clients was a travel agency owner. Backing up real quick, 2 years prior to the pandemic, I was going on tour for Disney, selling Disney, what the latest and greatest were, to a bevy of travel agency owners. Yes, they still exist. And yeah, you wouldn't think, but there's so many of them. And this travel agency owner remembered me from the tour and just said, hey, it's the holidays. I don't know if you can do anything, but could you produce a virtual event for us? And I went, yes. I had no idea what that meant.
Right.
So I hired a fellow citizen of Hollywood friend of mine, Angie Sardinia, and she was green screened at her home. I had bought green screens and I started getting microphones and equipment and produced a holiday event, and she loved it. And then word of mouth went around. And I started doing team building for travel agency owners. From there, the parks reopened. And with that, then they're like, can you help us create a virtual experience to help convince folks to travel again? And I went, I don't know what that is, but yes. So I started to create this virtual travel show that was live and interactive and fun. Not a webinar, but a new way to sell travel. And from there, once things were really picking up, they're like, hey, can we send you on a cruise and then you produce a whole show about said cruise product or Adventures by Disney or Royal Caribbean? And I was like, yes. So that's what I'm doing now. My business is live and virtual experiences. And I say experiences and not events because coming from a performer's background, I think it should be an experience.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
Well, people don't realize that like all good sales, all good everything goes back to storytelling.
Yeah.
It's all about storytelling. If you want to sell something, you got to tell a story. And that's what people read reviews. People they love the experience. So if you're going to do it, tell it in a story.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's my bread and butter now is producing these, and it's all self-taught.
Right.
And I have my own business now. I never went to business school.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
I'm just figuring it out.
Well, what's cool is that there's nobody out there doing this. I feel like you are like the pioneer in this like new industry.
I hope so. So many folks, and I understand it, have Zoom fatigue.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of clients who go, we're so sick and tired of it. We want to do it in person. I'm like, great, I'll do stuff
I
in
can do
person for
that.
you
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Do it all.
But I said the benefit of doing a virtual experience to sell whatever your company is selling is that people can come in from home. It costs you a fraction to do it live and bring people from all over the world to your spot.
One spot, yeah.
And you can do it in a fun, different, interactive way. And I can immerse folks in from their homes into wherever I am. And one big
I think we were it's so funny is that when the pandemic hit, we all got on Zoom, right? And we were forced to do it and we got fatigued.
Correct.
But then I think there was like 2021, we're like, whoa, that is actually way more convenient. Like talking to somebody on screen halfway across the world or even in the same city, I'm like, I could have drove to Starbucks. We could have had a coffee. It would have been 3 or 4 hours out of my day, or we can just talk on Zoom for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, so therefore, even your thing, like you can fly everybody there, they can get hotels, they can do what they need to do. I can have 20 minutes and it's based like, 2 days based around my 20 minutes, or I can just give you 20 minutes.
Correct.
Right. And that's so convenient. And
Correct.
So valuable.
And that's something that's not just me staring at the camera talking to you.
Right.
There's green screen, there's video backgrounds that I go and shoot to make it look like I'm actually there.
Yeah.
So it's not a still photo. The ocean is moving behind me. Or it's even a walking shot and I'll just do this, and it looks like I'm walking. So it's old movie tricks.
Right.
Yeah.
Old classic movie tricks.
So when you get a client and they say, I want this, do you custom make that, or do you have like packages that you're like, oh, we can do this? Or
Well, Mark, I am a big proponent now of work smarter, not harder.
boy.
So both. I now have a bevy of ready to go shows for travel products primarily at the moment.
Yeah.
But I will create, if someone wants it custom, absolutely.
Yeah. And who are your clients? Like, who would you say your client base is? Are they local? Are they everywhere?
Right now, they're nationally travel agency owners are, I would say, 95% of my business. Yeah. I am trying to branch more out into the corporate world. Just hosted an economic festival or forum in Miami. So I'm definitely trying to keep diversifying. I think that's part of my PTSD from the layoff. Right. I had everything in Disney and I lost it all. Right. My backup plans, everything.
So you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket now.
I will never put all my eggs in one. And if you're watching this, don't put all your eggs in one basket. But I mean it.
Yeah.
I mean it. dabble in things that you love. And that's what I'm doing now. You know, I grew up as a kid during the summer times. I used to watch Regis and Kathy Lee. Random, right? Yeah. Why? I have this fascination with talk shows.
Right.
I love talk shows.
Yeah.
I also grew up watching, you know, Samantha Brown, who did Great Hotels on the Travel
yeah,
Channel, her
I
passport
remember her.
to Europe. So I now tell folks, I always wanted to be, I would love to have Jimmy Fallon's job
Right.
or Samantha Brown's job. And now I'm doing both.
Yeah.
And
you're your own boss.
I'm
Living-
the boss.
Right.
I
Living your dream.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I still get to be live, and all my shows are live. That's a big thing about it. It's not canned. It's not something I will.
Pre-recorded.
I mean, we'll talk
Yeah.
if that's what
Sure,
you really
sure.
want.
If there's
We'll
some things
talk.
like buy a package or
But
something, right?
why I call them experiences is because you can't have an experience on a canned thing.
Right.
Necessarily. So I want it to be
an
a fun
inferior
experience,
product, so-
engaging. That I'm watching the Zoom gallery, and I will immerse you. I will pull you in to the show from your lazy boy. You know,
That is so fun, man.
yeah.
So
And
cool.
what I'm finding is that sales are going up. You know, my events now have sold $1.5 million in sales. I mean, I'm not making that money, but for my clients, that's what they're selling.
Yeah,
and we're
right.
finding that if you can get folks to see themselves doing something as opposed to just telling them about how great Antarctica is, but put them on a Zodiac raft in the middle of Dorian Bay, and you hear the ice and you're just going through it. And they can actually do this on Zoom, and it's a gag, but they're like, I've got to do this. That's what's working now. And it's all from home.
So smart.
And it's cheaper for the client, and they end up selling, and I think it just ends up being a far better experience.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, than just telling. Most people just tell. This is what you should do, especially the travel agency.
Any sales, yeah, it's all telling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you go to Antarctica?
I did. So I brought that up, yeah, because one of my recent clients said, hey, and this is a great thing. Listen up. It's all about referral. It's all about referrals, right?
1000%.
Okay, we could talk about advertising,
Oh, yeah.
but business is all about referral. Do a fantastic job. People are going to remember you, and they're going to talk about you. So I did a travel conference for Key to the World Travel in September. It was wonderful because I finally got to be at the table with Disney Event Group as the third party.
Right.
Nice.
You're like, hey, remember me?
And make the choices, right? Right? Now I'm with the
You
client.
have a seat at the table.
Yeah. So we did a multi-day event. They loved it.
They're like, is this granite steel pants?
Yeah.
Is that you?
we know
Is that
this,
you?
guys.
You're like, not
Fantastic.
anymore.
Fantastic. And then on the last day, they just went, what do you do in New Year's? And I said, I don't know. Why? They're like, would you and your wife want to help us produce an Adventures by Disney Antarctica event?
Wow.
And I went, yes.
Yeah.
Right? So we went to Antarctica, filmed the entire experience, and we just did it and had a great show. And it's adding on. And now it's stuff I can use for future events for anybody.
Yeah.
No, I feel like you as a business owner now, it's having the improv, the whole yes and. Like, I'll figure it out. What are we doing? Okay, let me figure it out in real time.
Yes.
And that's how you are successful being business. Like, we do that in real estate all the time. I'm like, I don't know how to do that, but just bear with me and I'll figure it out. And it's going to be really good. And you're probably, when people are like, can you do this? You're like, yes. And you just do. Because
And
you put the work into it.
Correct.
Right?
And why, as a diversifying man, businessman, I do motivational speaking now, and it's all from the heart. It's really how I got to where I am in the past few years, and it's talking about how improv, the thing I never wanted to do, was the thing that got me out of the hardest part of my life. I lost my job. Yes.
You lost your identity.
And my identity.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yes. And what are we going to do about it? I eventually had to get to that point. And that applies to any business, and it applies to whatever you do in this life. When hard things come, I teach everyone in my seminars is to yes and those challenges, because yes and, if you don't know, with improv, it's an acceptance principle. So whose line is it anyway? Oh my gosh, there's a bat on your head. If you go, no, there's not, the improv's over. But if you go, oh my gosh, there's a bat on your head, you're like, oh my gosh, it's so...
Is it wooden or does it have wings?
Exactly. You're yes-anding that. You're accepting what I just said to you.
Right.
And figuring it out in real time.
Right.
Yeah.
But there is a difference between acceptance and agreement. I had to accept that I lost my job. I did not agree with it. And that's a very
That's
important.
powerful.
That's a
Yeah.
very important difference.
Definitely.
You know, especially from an improv background. So, teaching that, and so you can just get in your body to say yes to any challenge. Yes, and I'm going to suggest something, and we're going to stumble, we're going to fail many times.
Right.
But if you don't, you're stagnant. You're sitting like I was in my backyard for 9 months, stewing. You've got to keep moving forward.
So what would you say to somebody if they're listening right now and they're maybe stagnant in their life, whether they're an actor or whether there's something they just want to run their own business or do something, like what's the jumping off point? Like what would, besides just do it, right?
Right. I will say this because so many of our friends and our colleagues, I hear their frustrations now, and I go, there is life outside of what you're currently doing.
Mm-hmm.
There is.
Right.
There's money to be made outside of there. Do what you love. Now, I was forced into it. I had to find a job. I had to. So it's difficult, I think, when you are, say you're at Disney or you're an actor or whatever business you're in, you've been doing it for a long time and you're tired or you're worn out and you kind of feel it's over for you or there's no more passion in it anymore. But it's a paycheck. It's hard to walk away from that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But my life is just so much
More enriched.
Enriched is the word. It's
Yeah.
enriched now. I love being my own boss. I think that's a powerful thing. Being in control of your life is a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you like corporate America, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
That is absolutely fine. You got medical benefits. That's great. I got to pay for mine. I get it. But try it out. On the side, I would say that to anyone that's just feeling like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I'm like, then what have you always wanted to be? Go get that.
Yeah.
Go try it. Fail. You can still hold on to the real job. I did. I had to have a side job for a while I was building this business.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I had to have that safety net.
Yeah.
I had a house and everything to pay for. But if you don't try, you're never going to, you hear that, you're going to live with regret if you don't say you tried.
Yeah.
You miss 100% of the opportunities. that you never
Everything.
take.
You're going to miss it all.
Yeah.
That's what I would say to everyone.
That's awesome.
And
Great.
just yes and it.
Yes, and it.
Yes and it.
What so
love
what's
that.
your we're gonna do a rapid fire question.
Ooh, I love it.
But before that, what's your plans for your bid? Like where do you see yourself going? What are your
You said the expansion outside of the travel companies and stuff. What other things are you trying to do since then and from them?
Yeah, that's why the motivational speaking that I've told you about. I've also been fascinated with, as a side note to being a fan of talk shows, now I'm moderating Comic-Cons and interviewing A-list celebrities, and it's from connections of things that I've done in my career.
It's so cool.
And
It
we're
can
getting to
literally
that.
go anywhere.
Correct. And there's so many Comic-Cons and Star Wars celebrations. I'm heading to London in a few weeks to
You are
do
yes
that.
anding your life, like to all these new places.
Yes.
It's so cool.
And when opportunities come your way and,
awesome.
I'm very thankful for the folks that got me to where I am and to these spots. And then there just comes a moment that I'm like, okay, now I want to take control of it,
Yeah.
and I think that's healthy. And it allows you just to try more things out. So yeah.
How has being in Orlando like helped? Or I mean, like, is this like this town is so diverse. We have so many people that come here, like a lot of production companies, a lot of corporations that come here. They meet here, they travel here, they vacation here. How has that helped you like establish your business here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a fantastic question. I think Orlando is so unknown to the country.
Yeah. I think it's more connected than they
correct. And the amount of talent, and I'm not talking from a performer's perspective, the amount of talent that is in this town, it gets so overshadowed by the theme parks, which we are grateful for, and it's tourism. But there's so much talent beyond the theme parks in here, in so many businesses, that it's untapped potential.
Yeah, even like a local coffee shops and local
Coffee shop. I'm a foodie, y'all.
Yeah.
I love to eat. I know it doesn't look like it, but I love to. Metabolism, it's slowing down, but I love to eat. So we've delicious food here. That's not your chains that you're not going to find otherwhere.
right.
So
you
what
know?
are some of your Orlando gems? Like
Oh,
what would you
He had one up.
I did. I can tell you, or you want to look? You can look it
I
up.
want to look it up. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
Hold on. It is Stasio's.
Stasio's.
Stasio's Italian Deli.
Stasio.
Yes.
That's right. I did see that.
Yes. Have you ever been?
I've
No,
never
no.
been.
Okay, it's on Bumby and Robinson, like
Okay.
just a couple blocks up from the 408.
Downtown area.
So we're close
Downtown,
by.
it's the Milk District.
Milk
Yeah, it's in Milk District, which is a very trendy.
It is
Yeah.
It is happening. They have their
It's-
own Instagram page.
They
Do they have their own
Their
Instagram
own
page?
Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is
The
specific.
Milk District
I love,
Instagram.
Yeah,
It's popular.
it is popular.
Got Milk District?
Oh,
Oh, you can have that.
there.
Have
Yeah,
that.
it's yours.
That was free.
That was free.
That was free. The next
No,
one.
we're not.
Call me for
Copyright.
the other stuff.
Copyright.
Okay.
Registered trademark.
But yeah, it was a friend recommendation. Like everything, it's a recommendation in life,
yeah,
right?
it's all
And
referrals.
they have the best meatball parmesan sub in
That's good to know.
in the world. In the world. So much so that anytime I'm up here, even if it's out of the way, I look at Hannah, my wife, and I go, "Can we go to Stasio's?"
We get some
We just
meatball,
did the other day.
meatball.
We had to go
Ooh.
get a haircut.
We had
I'm like,
meatball a couple weeks ago.
Is it a full-on
did.
deli? Like, do they have cuts of meat and everything
oh yeah,
there too?
full deli.
Really?
But they have hot and cold,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people go there to eat as well.
Yeah.
It is
So good. I can't
an
wait. I'm gonna try it.
institution in my
Be
book.
sure to check that
You know what?
out.
I'm the same way about Jinya Ramen.
Ah.
Anytime I'm downtown and I'm driving by, or I'm like, hey, I'm 30 minutes from Jinya Ramen, I will go to Jinya Ramen.
It's on the way home.
Be like, oh, it's an hour and a half away.
Just so
We're
everybody knows,
stop in.
everywhere in Orlando is 30 minutes from itself.
It is, yeah.
So,
Everywhere.
Like,
How far
everywhere.
away are you? About 30 minutes.
About 30 minutes. So Rob's
Needless
just
to
like
say-
driving in Winter Park. He's
Needless
like,
to say, I eat there every day.
I'm always around.
So
I'm
you're
in
an
Davenport.
investor.
I'm an investor.
I
part
love that.
owner.
All right, let's play some. Speaking of, let's play some
Okay.
Orlando
Let's do it.
Squadcast rapid fire. So
Do
don't think about it. Just answer.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Rob, you want to start it?
Sure. Back roads or toll roads?
Toll roads.
You go next, Mark.
Disney or Universal? Just to go play.
Universal.
Coffee or tea?
Oh, tea.
Goofy or Donald?
Goofy.
Crooked Can or the Wine Room?
Crooked Can.
Icon Park or Old
Can I
Town?
stop real quick
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that though?
yeah.
Have we guys talked about the
let's
Crooked
expand.
Can or the Wine Room in
We-
Winter Park?
Well, yeah, we love it.
So
there.
the wine room, it's amazing because you just go up and
Yeah,
you have
it's
an
like
empty
a-
glass and you just get little samples.
pour yourself,
Little
yeah.
Pour it
Pours.
yourself. They need a beer version of the wine room.
They do need a beer version. Who's
Come
listening?
on. You can take that. We need
that
the
would
beer
be just
room.
boop.
The beer room. And I'm like, I just want a little sample. I want the same concept. But can we just have,
Maybe
can
the
I take a
Crooked Can
pint glass
owner is
instead of my
listening to-
classy red wine glass around?
Yeah, I just
Do
want a
that?
Stein. I want a Stein.
There's a lot of good breweries here where, you know,
Yeah.
they could probably get behind that.
Right.
We
It's
do.
hard.
We have enough breweries to get enough quarter
All right,
kegs.
well, we're
and half
dropping
kegs.
knowledge
Ooh,
here.
New York Beer Project. That's another gem.
It is a gym. That's right by your house.
It
Just
sure
across
is.
your
Yeah.
house.
Okay, keep going.
All right, Icon Park or Old Town?
Icon. Ooh, Icon Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
UCF Knights or Rollins Tony Tax?
Tommy Tar.
Tommy Tar.
Oh,
The
Rollins.
mascot.
Rollins.
I'll go
yeah.
Rollins.
Rollins. Foxtail or Axum?
Oh, I've not had Oh, that's a lie. I'll have to say Axum. That's all I've had.
Okay.
I'll have to say that.
Hard tacos or soft?
Hard.
Mm.
Oh, you.
Legoland or Gatorland?
Ooh, I've been to neither, but I'm fascinated with Gatorland.
Gatorland has been the favorite.
Yeah.
HOA or no HOA?
HOA.
Yes.
They're
A
good,
necessary evil.
I mean, yeah, especially if you do mow my lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn signal or no turn signal?
Turn signal.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Orlando City or Orlando Magic?
Orlando City.
Thank you.
Final question. This will
I
be
played
important
soccer.
for
This will be
you.
important. I like this one.
Zoom or in person?
Oh. I do have to choose, don't I?
Yes. You can't choose both.
Personally.
Personally, I will say in person. Nothing beats the energy in a live room. Nothing beats the energy of a live audience. However, if you're looking for a virtual experience,
Yeah.
yeah.
So in person. So speaking of, how can people find you? How can they follow you? How can they book you?
Yeah.
How can they do everything?
Yeah, you can go to my website, CameronMatthews.com.
That's with two T's, right?
That's with two T's, and I'm on all the social medias at Cam Actor, CAMACTOR. And you can fill out any message. I respond very quickly. I think that is important. Can we just have a
Yes.
side note?
Just
Yes.
respond.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm working too hard.
No.
Maybe I am, but
No.
there's
We're in
something
sales.
Nope. Respond.
There's something about just responding, even if it's a no. You know, like,
Well, now
just
it's so
tell
easy.
me, just
You can-
tell me no.
You can just do an emoji now. Just thumbs up emoji. Like a quick
something.
More like this. I do this a
Email.
lot. I do this. We're like, hold on a second.
Yeah,
You
like
have
really
done that
good.
to me.
Oh, I'm like,
and I'm like,
hold
did
on.
he just give me a digital finger?
I'm like, wait.
I think
give
he
me a second.
shushed you.
No, there's a shush emoji.
that's
I've
true.
done that
That's
too.
true.
Is there a talk to the hand emoji?
Yeah,
Like,
there's
not
everything.
today.
I love emojis.
Yeah.
Cameron, thanks for coming on,
Yeah,
man.
thank you so
Thank
much,
you
Cameron.
guys.
We've
This was
enjoyed
wonderful.
Yeah, this is great, man.
Yeah.
This is really awesome. Thanks for
you.
coming by.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now get the fuck out of here.
See you fucking later, dude.
I've done it to everyone.